Right, so if you're already feeling that winter skin thing, starting, the dry, chapped hands that just feel awful no matter what cream you slather on,
Huh.
well, you're definitely not the only one. I was reading about this, and honestly, I was kind of blown away by what something as simple as pot marigold, calendula, can actually do.
Yeah, it's funny how these old botanical remedies sort of cycle back around, isn't it? We're looking at this really interesting blog post today focusing on exactly this. It's from a site called 420formulator.com.
Oh, yeah, that site.
Hmm.
It's run by Mike Harmon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seriously, it's an amazing resource if you're into formulating skincare, especially with botanicals or cannabis ingredients, just packed with info.
It really is. So our thinking today was, let's stop seeing calendula as just, a nice flower in the garden. Let's actually look at why it's been this go-to skin helper for centuries. We want to explore a bit of the science behind it and then walk through a couple of really straightforward recipes they shared, a cream and a balm. Perfect for that dry skin problem.
Okay, let's do it history first then. Why Calendula officinalis? I mean, it's got this huge reputation, but where did that actually start? What were people using it for way back when?
We're talking really, really old uses, like the ancient Egyptians. They weren't just using it for decoration. They actually seemed to believe it had properties to help them, well, feel young and fresh.
Huh. Okay, so the original anti-aging claim right there. Thousands of years later, we're still after the same thing from a flower.
Pretty much. But then, fast forward to medieval Europe, people were really relying on it. It was used constantly to help heal small cuts, soothe burns, just generally calm down skin that was really sore or irritated. And even in Ayurvedic traditions in India, there's a long history of using it specifically for skin inflammation.
Right, so it's not just folklore, there's actual chemistry going on. The blog mentioned flavonoids, triterpenoids, carotenoids. What is it about that particular mix that makes calendula so good for skin? Maybe better than just a plain oil.
That's the key, isn't it? It's the specific combination. So yeah, the flavonoids and carotenoids are good. They help with redness. They're antioxidants. But the real sort of star players for healing seem to be the triterpenoids.
Triterpenoids, okay, what's special about those?
They're the compounds that studies suggest actually signal skin cells to regenerate faster. They seem to actively speed up tissue repair, wound healing. So calendula isn't just soothing or moisturizing over the top. It's kind of telling the damaged skin underneath to get busy repairing itself.
Ah, okay. That makes sense why they called it a cozy blanket for cranky skin then. It protects and helps fix things.
Exactly. Now, what's really interesting, and something the site explores quite a bit, is when you combine that traditional plant power with newer botanical science, specifically mixing calendula with hemp-derived CBD, cannabidiol.
Right. I know they're both meant to be good for inflammation, but how does the CBD part actually work alongside those calendula compounds we just talked about?
Well, CBD interacts with the skin's own regulatory system, the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. So when you put CBD on your skin, it can help calm down localized inflammation. It might help regulate oiliness, and it's another powerful antioxidant fighting off environmental damage. They work really well together. It's like they boost each other's effects, soothing, healing, strengthening that skin barrier.
Okay, so for you listening, putting them together could mean like serious benefits. You get the soothing for irritated skin, maybe faster healing for little nicks or scrapes, maybe even sunburn, plus deeper hydration and that antioxidant protection.
And just a quick note, if you are making something like this at home and you do want to include cannabis, you need to think about the prep. Raw cannabis mostly has CBDA, not the active CBD.
Right, you need to decarboxylate it first, like activate it with heat.
Precisely. You have to heat the plant material gently. That's decarboxylation. It converts the CBDA into CBD, which is the molecule that actually interacts effectively with those skin receptors. CBDA doesn't do much topically.
Got it. So once you've done that, you just steep the dried calendula flowers in your decarb cannabis in a carrier oil that can handle a bit of heat. And it's worth saying, these recipes sound great even without the cannabis part too. The calendula infusion itself is powerful.
Absolutely. And yeah, if you're infusing, choosing a good heat-stable oil matters. The blog suggests things like rice bran oil, olive oil, sweet almond, maybe sunflower or marula oil. They hold up well to the gentle heat needed for infusion.
Okay, so we've covered the star calendula and its potential partner, CBD, plus the oil they steep in. But any good cream or balm needs more than just oil, right? Let's talk about the other ingredients the blog recipe uses. Why those specific ones?
Yeah, exactly. If you're aiming for a really nice hand cream, not just an oily balm, you need things for structure, for getting water into the skin, and importantly, for keeping it safe to use. So, for example, they use rice bran oil, that's Oryza sativa bran oil, as a base oil in the cream. It's really popular in Asian skincare, especially Japan, known for brightening. It's full of vitamin E types like tocotrienols, and this compound called gamma-oryzanol. Feels quite light, not too greasy, helps stop water loss from the skin, and even has a tiny natural SPF, maybe around 4.
That sounds like a really nice base. But okay, if I'm just starting out, why not just use a generic emulsifying wax? The recipe mentions Montanova 68 millibeats specifically. Is that kind of specific emulsifier really necessary? Does it make that much difference?
That's a good question. Montanov 68 is, well, it's a natural emulsifier derived from things like vegetable alcohols and sugars. Its job is to bind the oil and water together properly. It creates that really smooth, velvety feel in oil and water cream that sinks in nicely. A basic wax might work to thicken, but you probably won't get that same elegant texture or stability. It helps create a nicer product.
Okay, texture matters. Then there's vegetable glycerin in the water part. We hear hydration all the time, but how does glycerin actually do that?
So vegetable glycerin, usually from soy, coconut, or palm oil, is what we call a humectant. It's really good at it. It literally draws water molecules, either from the air if it's humid, or from deeper layers of your skin, up into the very top layer, the stratum corneum, and it holds it there. That's key for repairing a dry, cracked skin barrier.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And the last crucial bit for the cream, because it has water, the preservative.
Yep, absolutely essential. Anytime you mix water and oils, you create an environment where bacteria, yeast, mold can grow. So for the cream recipe, you have to use a broad spectrum preservative. They mentioned Salagard PCG, which is one blend, but the point is you need something effective to keep the product safe and stable. You just can't skip that in a water-based formula.
Right. So these recipes, the cream and the balm, they're written out fully on the website, percentages and all, ready to go. And they sound, honestly, pretty simple to make, even if you haven't done much formulating before. Let's just quickly outline the difference in making them. The hand cream first, that's the emulsion, so a bit more involved.
Yeah, slightly more steps. With the cream, you're heating 2 parts separately. You've got your oil stage, that's your infused oil, maybe the rice bran oil, plus the emulsifier like Montanov 68. And then you have your water stage, distilled water, and the glycerin. You heat both of these, usually to around the same temperature, often above 75 Celsius, to make sure that emulsifier melts and activates properly.
Then you pour one into the other while blending, like with a stick blender.
Exactly. You combine them and blend really well. You'll see it thicken up and turn into that nice white creamy texture. That's the emulsion forming. But then crucially, there's the cool down stage. You absolutely have to let that cream cool down, usually below 40 degrees C, before you stir in your preservative and any essential oils you might want for scent. Heat can damage preservatives and ruin essential oils. Get that right, and you end up with a really lovely, effective repairing cream.
Okay. And for someone who wants something maybe even simpler, especially to start, the DIY Calendula balm sounds like the easier option. Oil-based, no water.
Oh, much simpler. Definitely a great starting point. Because there's no water, you don't need the emulsifier or the preservative in the same way. You basically just gently heat your solid ingredients like beeswax, maybe some shea butter if you're using it along with your main carrier oil, maybe olive oil. Heat it just enough until everything's melted together and looks uniform.
And the beeswax is what gives it that balm texture, right? It makes it solid, gives it that protective layer on the skin.
Yeah, beeswax provides the structure and that breathable barrier. Once it's all melted, you take it off the heat. Let it cool just a little bit. You might see it just start to get cloudy around the edges. That's when you stir in your cool down ingredients, your lovely calendula infused oil, and maybe some vitamin E.
And the vitamin E here is mostly to protect the balm itself from going off, rather than for a huge skin benefit.
Primarily, yes. Vitamin E is an antioxidant for the oils. It helps stop them oxidizing, going rancid, so it extends the shelf life of your balm. Mix it all in, pour it into your pots or tins, and just let it cool and set completely. Simple as that. So once you've made these, how do you actually use them best?
Well, the cream is probably lighter, sinks in faster, so that's ideal for everyday use, maybe after you wash your hands, or definitely last thing at night so it can work while you sleep.
And the balm, being richer, more waxy.
That's your targeted treatment. Use it on really dry spots. Lips, cuticles, elbows, maybe cracked heels. Just dab it on wherever you need that extra protection and moisture whenever you need it through the day.
Okay, and keeping them fresh. Shelf life.
The hand cream, because it's got water and preservative, should be good for, say, up to 12 months if made and stored properly. The balm, even without a preservative like the cream has, lasts really well because it's just oils and waxes. So probably around 12 months for that too, especially with the vitamin E helping out.
A good shelf life for both then. And just a sensible reminder, always use clean fingers or, even better, a little clean spatula to get the product out of the jar. You don't want to introduce water or bacteria, which could spoil even the best made product over time.
Yeah, definitely. And look, if listening to this has got you interested, especially understanding why these ingredients work together the way they do, you should really check out that site, 420formulator.com. Seriously, there are loads more free formulations like these on there, really detailed stuff. It's just a fantastic place to learn more if you're into making your own skincare.
Yeah, it's a great resource. And I suppose just to wrap up, thinking about these plant ingredients, it's more than just mixing stuff up, isn't it? It's kind of about connecting with this long tradition of using botanicals for wellness and creating something genuinely supportive and gentle for your skin.
It really makes you think, though, how many other powerful, really effective things might be growing in our gardens or sitting in our kitchens that we just sort of overlook, because they haven't been hyped up by the big beauty brands. Maybe it's worth paying a bit more attention to those ordinary-looking plants sometimes, like those little sunny calendula flowers. So what does this all mean? It means your next really amazing skin-saving hand cream might be simpler to make and actually closer than you think.